Emotions are a key driver of behavior. Most meaningful decisions in life are actually driven by emotions. So it's very important that in business we understand this side. How can we create a brand that truly resonates with our emotions and with our audience emotions? That is fundamental in business these days. In today's video, I'll show you the emotional intelligence framework into action with how I actually applied the emotional intelligence framework to the process of the brand creation of the Mompreneurs Society. The emotional intelligence framework is composed of 5 steps, which, by the way, I have also described in this video. They will find the description below. And it's actually quite simple. First, we need to do a self-awareness, the recognition of your own emotions and how they influence your life. In the case of the Mompreneurs Society, we were actually understanding that many women suffer from frustration. Why? Because our time is very limited and we don't have as much flexibility as we want because we need to take care of the kids, of the house, of so many things. So understanding the roots of frustration and anger give us a lot of insight into how the support that we need to provide was going to be delivered. The second aspect is self-regulation. By managing those emotions, they empower you and they really make you understand how is the influence that your own emotion has into your action and how the emotion of your client influences their own decision. How is this? We understood that frustration rooted in anger is something that really is very, very present in our audience, right? So by being aware of the type of anger, the type of frustration that we have, we need to understand what are the roots and how we can compensate this anger. When you are angry, you want to control something, you want to have a specific action towards a specific event. We need to get things done when we are frustrated because we can't otherwise. What we need is actually active support, practical tools that give you empowerment, that give you this action that your body needs because otherwise you have no time to do it. So we would really understood the root of this anger and this frustration. We understood that we actually had to give active support to our members. That's why we're offering an in-house marketing services support to our members. This is not random. We needed to offer something practical, something that made people's lives easier and more enjoyable, more manageable. That came from the analysis of the emotional state of our target audience. That's why it's so important. The third aspect is about the motivation that you have to do actually something about that specific emotion. That inner voice that tells you, okay, one thing is that I have frustration, one thing is I have anger. How is this connected to behavior? So when you actually are aware, first of all, another part of your brain is activated when you label the type of emotion that you have. And then you say to your brain, okay, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, what can I do? You reduce the emotion, you take control over it. You can actually motivate yourself to either increase your anger or to reduce it. So by being more aware of the type of emotion that you or your client have, you can create a strategy for it, mitigation strategy, or you can actually be aware and say, okay, I'm gonna be angry for this or this reason, but it's a conscious decision. That's why it's so important to take care of that and say, if we are going to have an active support, what is exactly what we are going to do to prevent that from happening? The real pain of people, something really specific, so you need to give a specific solution to it. The fourth, a very, very important aspect is empathy. Empathy is simply putting yourself into someone else's shoes. That's not a small thing because it's actually forgetting a little bit, putting your own emotions aside and really feel what another person feels and try to be yourself for one moment and understand what that person needs. That is actually the true root of compassion. That's so important. And we actually need to get there if you want to create a true, meaningful, relevant solution for your brand. You really need to put yourself in the shoes of your client to understand what is exactly what this person needs. And you try to deliver it. The root is actually very, very simple. Just compassion, just empathic behavior. Put yourself there and accept it. Okay, the real pain that I'm going to solve with my offer is this one. What is what I'm going to do for that person? That is actually compassion. The active behavior rooted in empathy. That is so important. That empathic and compassive behavior leads to the final part, the final phase of the emotional intelligence framework, which is actually the social skills, this connection that you have with other people, the relationships that you do. For this, it's just simply opening this space, is creating this possibility for someone to tell you how they feel. So we can really have this human and very deep relationship based not on spending money into some product. We are really trying to improve someone else's life based on what we do. That's the notion of value creation. The most important, I will say, notion of entrepreneurship these days. We don't sell products that are going to contaminate the world just because of money anymore. That doesn't work. We need to think of the planet. So we need to think of something that people really need, really want, and are willing to pay for it because they are really in need for it. So we shouldn't create something out of nothing. We should really create something from the heart that really helps the life of someone else. That's the framework. That's why emotions, if you think about it, are really the core of it if you really understand and make an effort to put yourself in the position of your client. That's why we have opened this space to know what is bothering you. What are the emotions behind your business that you're trying to solve? We have created the space Building Businesses with Hearts, which is a weekly meeting to get to know each other, to talk, to have the safe space to talk about anything that you need to solve in your business at the time, right there in a group together. Mompreneurs, not mompreneurs, everybody's welcome. Why? Because we simply want to grow together. And for that, the emotions felt at the time of the meeting are going to be the driver of our discussion. So I'm looking forward to these meetings, weekly meetings, and first sessions are going to be open for free. So looking forward to seeing you there. Sign up in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are very happy to continue this journey together. Keep being inspired.